Hello, and welcome to the Newsfeed Talk Show Edition. I'm Brooke Van Buren. Today, we'll be talking about the Moss Art Center, located on Virginia Tech's campus. It has made an impact on the town of Blacksburg and Virginia Tech's campus since it opened in 2013. Many Blacksburg residents have noted its positive influence on the town. We're going to take a deeper dive into its community outreach and mission of education and cultural enrichment. In 2005, Virginia Tech launched an arts initiative to provide students with a broader education. They hope to achieve this through a facility that would redefine performing and visual arts in Blacksburg. In 2010, the university's Board of Visitors approved construction plans for the new Center of the Arts. Artist and philanthropist Patricia Buckley Moss donated $10 million towards the center, naming it the Moss Art Center. The Moss Art Center is located on Alumni Boulevard and is a 150,000 square foot facility. It has a 1,200 seat theater with 3 levels that frequently hosts performances. There is a research environment called the Cube, which is recognized as the world's first full-scale big data exploration facilities. With 134.6 channels of 3D spatial audio, scientists, engineers, composers, or anyone who wants to explore spatial sound can experience in it. The center also is home to the Department of Communications studio and teaching spaces, and laboratories for the Institute for Creativity, Arts, and Technology. We're joined with Judy Ream-Snyder. She is a Moss Arts partner and the executive chapter advisor for Alpha Delta Pi sorority. She has a lot of knowledge about the Moss Art Center, Virginia Tech, and the town of Blacksburg with all of her involvement. Judy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with, can you explain more about what you do as a Moss Arts partner?
Okay, the Moss Arts Partners is a group of, people within the community of Blacksburg and outside of it who are passionate about the arts. They believe in what the arts has to offer the community at large, and they are willing to step up financially as well as with their expertise and their time and their talents to help the Moss be all it can be to the community.
That's great. And why did you decide to be a Moss Arts partner?
I'm passionate about the arts. I believe that art is fundamental. The arts are fundamental to everyday living, to education, that it's not a frill or an extra, and to bring something like this to Blacksburg and to Virginia Tech is just a win-win all the way around.
Yeah, what would you say is the significance of the Moss Arts Center?
I think that it provides, its location is right at the edge of campus and the edge of town, so it provides a physical link to Blacksburg and Virginia Tech. I forget the rest of your question, sorry.
Just the significance of the Moss Arts Center.
It provides this link between the town and the community, and with all of the outreach that the Moss does, it also brings the arts to different communities and different schools, so that children that might not necessarily come here have the opportunity to see some of the performances that we host at the Moss.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit about the impact, but can you go more into detail about what you think the impact is of the Moss Arts Center on the town of Blacksburg?
I think that the Moss Arts Center puts Blacksburg on the map. Mm-hmm. People that come to the Moss or hear about the Moss and what we do here then become better acquainted with what this town has to offer. I think that through the outreach program, we have children that come from all over the surrounding counties and attend events at the Moss. There'll be hundreds of kindergartners in the Moss for a program. A lot of the performers that come to the Moss go out into the community and visit different schools, or they'll go to Warm Hearth, which is a retirement community in Blacksburg. But these are the performers, they're professionals, and they will take time when they're not performing here to go out into the community and add to it in that way. And I also think that because of the size of the university and the fact that we are really an international community, that a lot of what the Moss brings are programs that hit on every facet of what people like to see, what makes them feel like they're at home. It just broadens the experience of living here overall.
What would you say is the reach of the Moss Art Center? Like you mentioned that it's regional and they reach out to different kindergartens around the area? What would you say is the overall reach?
I think the reach could be global.
Okay.
I know that I sing in the Blacksburg Master Chorale, and we did a huge performance a couple years ago that was literally broadcast, and people picked it up all in many different countries all over the world.
Wow.
So I think that our reach can be global. It's going to take a little more work by all of us to do that, but because we have a global community at Virginia Tech, then that gives us the opportunity to take what we do at the Moss and take it all over the country and make it global.
Yeah. Many people have mentioned to me that the center has kind of changed the atmosphere of Virginia Tech from strictly an engineering and architecture school to include more of the arts. How does that resonate with you?
I agree. I think, for a long time, Tech had Tech has an outstanding engineering program, and they have outstanding business and all the science programs, and the arts were there, but they were kind of extras, supposedly, not really. And by having a facility like this built and functioning and gaining notoriety and providing so much to the community, both the campus and town, I think that has gone a long way to opening it up and making it more of an all-around university and not just something for science and technology.
Yeah. And as I mentioned before, the former Virginia Tech president, Charles Seeger, he started the Arts Initiative in 2005. Do you think he would be proud of where Virginia Tech is today?
I think he would be tickled, yes.
I love that word. Why do you think he would?
Because this was a vision that he had for Tech to expand it. I mean, he was an engineer, so I think he also was a proponent of the arts, and I think that this was a dream that he had for Virginia Tech. So to see it be as successful as it is and growing like it is and gaining in notoriety in a positive way would just make him very happy.
Yeah. And you told me that you're on the engagement committee, which on Moss Arts Partners. So what would you say to someone to convince them to come see a performance here at Moss?
First of all, you need to see the theater, because the theater is just amazing. We performed there one time and people were like, I really felt like I was sitting in Carnegie Hall. And I was like, okay, I'll take that.
That's awesome.
It's an amazing facility. It brings amazing things here. And the arts is a way that people, no matter where they are, it joins people together. Mm-hmm. And by being part of the Arts Partners, we are able to go out and we use our creativity and the expertise of the people that are actually working for the Moss, and we give them our ideas and we do some of the groundwork and whatever they need us to do, or we have committee meetings and just do all kinds of things to promote the arts, give them more ideas. How can we expand our K-12 programming? We're very involved in that. How can we get our name out to more than the Blacksburg community? How can we get people from Roanoke to come all the way from Roanoke to the Moss to come here to do something because they think we're very, very far away? So it's just like we give back to the Moss by working with the people that work there, the professionals, and they appreciate the time and the talent and the dedication and the passion that we have for it. And by doing that, I think that we can all work together to make the Moss a stronger place.
Yeah, well, I think you've done a great job
Thank
so
you.
far. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I don't think so. I just love it, and I encourage everybody to attend the Moss. And if you have the opportunity, for students, they have cheap tickets, and there is also an hour before any performance that goes on. They have what they call rush hour, and students can get in line, and people that have turned in tickets because they can't be there, you get free tickets to attend the program. So, and Thursday night is the ukulele orchestra, so y'all should come.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very
Loved
welcome.
having you here. Newsfeed reporter Bella Demo shares more insight on the Moss Arts Center's community outreach involving K through 12 students, like Judy mentioned.
The Moss Arts Center's exhibition show is a cornerstone attraction for the NRV community, offering a rich variety of artistic expression that changes just about every 2 months. With 2 curated showrooms, visitors encounter an array of styles and interactive pieces, offering an immersive experience that ignites curiosity and dialogue. The Moss Art Center ensures accessibility by offering free admission to its exhibits. Additionally, the center extends its reach to local schools in the NRV, providing tours to students to encourage art education and creative experience. According to engagement manager Kari Heisted, it's a win-win situation. Schools get a fantastic learning opportunity, and Moss Arts gets to spread the love for art and culture throughout the community.
Typically, we'll have a school group come maybe after they've seen a matinee show, so it's kind of a full field trip. But I've also had high school teachers arrange for a full field trip where their main focus is art galleries. So they might come see the exhibit and then go to drill field and eat at D2, things like that.
Adding to its array of offerings, the Moss Arts Center also hosts a matinee. These events are open to the public and offer a unique blend of education and entertainment, while also serving as a platform to showcase art in the NRV. The matinee show offers students an opportunity to engage with the arts in an interactive and educational setting. By attending these performances, students not only enjoy a live show, but also gain insights into the artistic experience. Heisted offers more about the inner workings of the matinee.
Yeah, so we have guest artists that come throughout the year that perform a school day performance, so it's during the school hours, and schools can bus in, as well as homeschool families attend those.
These shows provide an excellent avenue for the NRV community to gather and expand their understanding of art. They also serve as a valuable educational experience for K-12 students, emphasizing the importance of artistic expression and creativity, as well as creating a welcoming atmosphere at Moss Arts and reinforcing its role as a central hub for the NRV community.
Flashlights.
So, Chad, feel like you get taller every time I see you. Congratulations, Brandon.
Thank you.
Welcome back to this special talk show edition of the Newsfeed. I'm your host, Brooke Van Buren. After hearing about the impact the Moss Art Center has on the town of Blacksburg, we are going to take a closer look at how it impacts the students at Virginia Tech. The center includes new technology to help students in the School of Communication advance their skills, with a new studio, equipment, and classrooms. Newsfeed reporter Jonah Sacchi is joined by Evan Hughes to look at how the center has affected him.
We're joined now by Evan Hughes. Evan experienced the comm program at Virginia Tech and had the opportunity to use the equipment and technology available for students in the Moss Arts Center. He has taken these skills learned in the Moss Arts Center to another level as he is now Virginia Tech's Assistant Director of Broadcast Services. And thank you for joining us, Evan, today.
Sure, great to see you, man. Thanks for having me.
Now, if people don't know, you've actually become, I'd say, almost a voice of women's basketball right now. And I know you told me earlier you're doing baseball now as well. So how has the Moss Arts Center sort of helped you in your career?
Well, you know, I feel like walking back in here, it's like walking back into home. It's like going back to, like, you know, high school and walking back in, like, to your place that you grew up in a little bit, and that's how I feel coming back here. So I think for me, looking back on it, like the Moss Arts Center and the upgrades that were made to this facility, the people that are in here, I think are so important, right? From people like Dr. Robinson to Paul Spalding to Bill Roth to Jared Woolley. Like, it's the people that make Virginia Tech special. It's the people that make the Moss Arts Center too, but also when you've got a 9 TV wall right behind the anchor desk and the Hokie Stone. And I think for me, the biggest thing about this place was you're not judged in here as a student, right? You have the ability to kind of throw spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks and try new things. And it's the perfect place to practice your skills before you get into the real world. And what's really cool is a lot of what this building represents, a lot of what it has truly does apply to what it's like to be an everyday media professional, from the equipment to how you structure a rundown to, I mean, it's just all really, really unique. And so I look back with a lot of admiration and love for my 4 years. And I don't think I'd be who I am today as a media professional if it weren't for the opportunities that the Moss Arts Center presented to myself and others.
So what was like the biggest things that you actually had access to here at Moss Arts that has really helped you the most? Like, I know you're saying it's a lot of just about the people and almost the culture here as well.
Sure.
But were there like technology things that, like, of course, I know that the newsroom has been a big help for just getting yourself acquainted to being in front of a camera and stuff like that. But was there like a specific part that you felt was sort of the most helpful with what you've been doing now?
Yeah, there are a couple things that stand out. Number one, I felt lucky that if there wasn't a class in here, that I had the ability to come up and throw a script into the teleprompter and just practice, right? And also, if I wanted to record myself for a reel, if I needed to do that, I had the ability to do. Like, I almost like think about if you're a basketball player at Castle, you have a 3-hour practice. That's important, but sometimes it's going out by yourself and just being able to get shots up. That's really important by yourself, and you had the ability to do that, to come in here by yourself and just, again, kind of have like free reign to practice and do what you wanted to do. So I think that I think that was something that I remember most about having that ability to do that helped. I think another thing too, I look back on Digital Newsroom. I'm not just bringing this up. One thing that we did was, I think we were one of the first classes who had a live shot. And actually, I went to Burris and did a actual hit where you're standing by and you're getting the point and you're not actually physically here. And I thought that was a new piece of equipment. I remember Paul being very excited about that, and we got to test that out. And that was a whirlwind when you're doing stuff that's live, but you're also not here and you're waiting for the point and you got to go and you're tossing to a package. And so those are two things I think for me: the ability to have this place outside of the classroom hours, and then the ability to do things live, kind of like what we're doing right now. It's really important. You can't, once it's live, you got to be able to rock and roll, right? And you don't really get that. You have to practice that. You have to physically do that, and you have the ability to do that here in Moss.
Yeah, I mean, where do you think you would have been if we didn't have the Moss Arts in here? Like, would we still have seen you come to Tech for this sort of major, or do you think you've been elsewhere?
Well, I mean, this was I remember when, for me, a big part of my career here was the sports media analytics program, which was a concentration halfway through, then a major by the time I graduated. But I think that, it would, again, I'm going to use a sports analogy. It would be like a coach coming in saying, hey, we're going to do really great things here, but you don't have a home court, right? Like, you have to have the home base. And Moss Arts Center is our home base. It is our home. It is our foundation for all majors here in the School of Communication. And I think that I remember this is the only desk that was here, I believe, I'll have to ask Paul, that was here from the old set. I mean, the old set was a beautiful backdrop of like right behind the pylons in front of Torg Bridge, but it was made out of wood. I remember Paul even saying it was made by someone like in Christiansburg, right? And now we've got all of this. This is new. This is a touchscreen right here. I mean, it's amazing. So the new technology, again, go back in sports. What do they all say? Like, we want to be ahead of the curve. We want to have the best stuff for our student athletes. Well, Virginia Tech and the Moss Arts Center provided the best stuff, the best technology, the best equipment for its students. And so I think the big thing would be, I don't know if I would have been as ready to succeed in the real world if it weren't for the Moss Arts Center and the equipment and all of the amazing technology that was afforded to us in my 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think this has increased the accreditation of the comm program here at Tech?
It's amazing. First of all, the accreditation, that's fantastic. And it's a really, really big deal. So congratulations to all that's involved. I don't know how you couldn't walk in here if you're someone on that accreditation committee that flies in from all different parts of the country and you see the studio. This is beautiful. I don't even need to know what other schools have to know that I don't think that the color's changing the backdrop there. Like, we could change it to green to red. We've got that video wall. We've got the ability to do stand-ups here, a side report here, the main anchors. I mean, it's everything. And that was something I remember when I toured here. Paul Spalding looked at me saying, listen, the newsroom, right, everything that goes on in there, it's nicer than any television station in the state of Virginia. So it speaks for itself, right? I mean, it's like when your guests walk in and the house is like completely clean and it looks like sparkling night. Like, that's what this is. It is beautiful, and I think it's the best part of the Moss Arts Center. So. No,
it really is. So what do you think sort of keeps, I guess, students coming back? What do you think is the best part about this place? You've got, new students come in all the time. Of course, I came here because of this studio and stuff like that. What do you think is sort of the thing that keeps bringing students back to this place?
Well, I think it goes hand in hand. I think that you have great classes and fantastic professors, but you have this amazing place that you can teach it in. So it's exciting to enroll in advanced multimedia reporting and digital newsroom and sports center and all these classes, and then have the ability to come in here and to learn, to feel like you're in like the Ritz-Carlton of a newsroom. And I think that's really special. I think the other part too that we haven't really talked about, the equipment that you can check out and that you can go and take from the Moss Art Center and apply in the real world. I think that's an extension of Moss Art Center. I'm going to combine the Amazon checkout, as I call it, of all the different pieces of equipment that you can go. So that's what I think, like, we love what we do. And when you love what you do and you have all the resources afforded you to go out and be great, you have no excuse to not be great in what you do in your time as a comm student in the School of Communication, no matter what your major is. So yeah, it's fun. It's like walking into school every day and it's like, man, I get to work in this newsroom. You might graduate from here and go to 3 different newsrooms and they're not as good as this one right here. So, you know, it's kind of like enjoying every moment you have here in this studio.
That's pretty awesome. How much time do you think you spent here, honestly, practicing?
I mean, I can remember walking out of here at 11 or midnight, and like our internship used to meet here with Andrew Allegretta. I remember the first time walking into Moss Arts Center and being in Moss Arts Room 157. To me, I mean, countless hours, but a lot of memories. This place kind of serves as like a reminder of like, wow, like how lucky am I? How far have I come? And it kind of has that 10,000 foot perspective of like, you're doing the darn thing. And I'm personally like so proud of myself and so grateful to all that helped me get to where I am today, achieving my dreams. So a lot of hours spent, hopefully a lot of hours more, because I love coming back and seeing all the new students and modifications that, you know, again, I've only been gone 3 years, but I feel like I've been gone a lifetime. It's amazing. So
What do you think you would love to see be done in the Moss Arts Center in the future? Like, I know you've said this has been here since you were here as well, and of course we got a new desk now, but is there anything else you would love to see increase with Moss at some point?
You know, I'm going to throw a big wish list item out there. I think something that's really great about the Moss Arts Center is the podcast recording studio. You can record really great audio. I'd love to see it set up as like a desk. Remember like Mike and Mike with radio, right? Like you do a talk show, but you have the video ability. Like I'd love to see, like take all that equipment, but just kind of like set up a little desk and have those mics like right here to almost like you're doing like a radio show that's simulcast to TV. I think that'd be really cool. But honestly, and then I think the other thing too is like I would love to see on the wall out there in the hallway leading in here, I think it'd be really cool to put up all of the alums in the School of Communication from MJ to SMA and to know where they are. I think that'd be really cool to kind of show the current students like where we've, who's come before you and where it is.
Hey, thank you again, Evan, for joining us today.
Yeah, so I talk a lot.
I think living in Blacksburg, like I'm from New York, so I mean, kind of a cultural epicenter for stuff. And like when I came here, I was a little, not gonna lie, I was a little worried that there wasn't gonna be much. And I think Moss does a really phenomenal job of kind of bringing things from all over the world, really, in touring Broadway productions, this, that, and the other.
It's definitely super diverse, which I love because Blacksburg is obviously a mountain town, so we don't get a lot of that. And it just creates a lot of exposure to different cultures and communities.
And they have really great events like concerts and sort of like seminars, I guess you could say. I really like it. My friend actually works here, so I'm here all the time. And it's really just a great community-based building with lots of things to do.
I come probably once a month to the Moss Art Center for events. They have a lot of shows, and especially this past month, I believe, was the wrestling event, which was awesome to be in Moss.
My dream show at the Moss Art Center would probably be, I don't know, like a pop artist or a country artist.
There's a lot of cool art exhibits that I like to go to. There's a lot of also music events that I like to attend.
We like music and dance, so we like all of them really, but the Broadway shows were both good.
I think the Moss Art Center does a really great job because Blacksburg doesn't really have any entertainment besides like the Lyric Theater.
Would you rate this one of the best entertainment places in Blacksburg?
Definitely. Yeah. At least for my kind of entertainment.
There is a road laid out for me.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Leading down to the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
What do you think?
I know this road is there for me. If I'm really free, take me down to the river and walk.
Welcome back to the newsfeed. Next up, newsfeed reporter Bella Demo shares insight on events hosted by the Moss Art Center and how these events benefit the community and bring locals and students together.
The Moss Arts Center stands as a cornerstone of the NRV community, showcasing over 20 performances each semester. From concerts to comedy shows, its diverse array of events ensures there's something for everyone to enjoy. Katie Gert, Director of Marketing and Communications, sheds light on the process behind selecting these performances. She emphasizes their aim to inspire and enrich, going beyond just entertainment.
The mission of the Moss Arts Center isn't just about entertainment. It's a lot more focused on education and sort of enriching people's experiences and broadening worldviews.
For the past 10 years, Moss Arts has been able to bring in performers to showcase different cultures and ideas. Gert emphasizes that each performer is handpicked with a distinct purpose, adding depth and significance to the center's cultural offerings.
A lot of the performers we bring here specifically because they are willing to do engagement activities above and beyond what you see on the stage. So it's master classes with students or workshops. Sometimes they go out to elementary schools and do workshops with kids.
Despite being located on Virginia Tech's campus, these events are heavily populated by locals from the NRV community. Gert says that the student body only makes up 28% of the attendance at these performances. Even though she is happy with that number, they are still looking at more ways to grow that number with advertising such as newspaper, television, and social media ads. Gert expresses, though, that Moss Arts location is already a great advertisement in itself and benefits not only the building, but the community.
The Moss Arts Center and these performances benefit the community and the NRV because, you know, among other things, I think the building is very strategically located right here at the intersection of campus and community. So it is a place where you see a lot more people coming out from the region as well as students, and they're kind of together experiencing these things in a way that you wouldn't otherwise. And I think that having this arts center is part of what makes Blacksburg a more vibrant place. So for people who are looking to maybe move here, whether they're looking to bring children who they're hoping can have experiences here, or they're really looking for a place to retire and they want to know what they can do, this provides a lot of opportunities for that as well.
With performances scheduled throughout the week, Moss Arts Center has become a pivotal part of the downtown scene. Gert notes that attending a show often precedes dining out, thereby boosting business for local restaurants.
You know, I think that the other benefit of where we're located is we really do contribute to kind of the downtown in terms of bringing people in for businesses. The restaurants around here, if you go out on a show night, you know, we're really driving a lot of business downtown, and I think that's really important for Blacksburg.
Over the past decade, Moss Arts Center has successfully brought the community together through its various performances and events. The center remains dedicated to its mission of education and cultural enrichment, aiming to host even more events in the future by continuing to unite locals and students in the enjoyment of art and culture.
The Moss Arts Center has clearly made a positive impression on Virginia Tech's campus and town of Blacksburg. Whether it be through providing services and spaces for students to increase their experiences or interactive and insightful events. Virginia Tech is known for its engineering and architecture, but the arts have continued to grow and change the nature of the campus. After talking with Judy Ream-Snyder and Evan Hughes, we know more about the center and how it's used to make an impact. That will wrap up this special edition of the Newsfeed. A big thank you to our guests for joining us today. Thanks for joining. I'm Brooke Van Buren.